Before I went mad, I used to be a research fellow at the Royal British Academy of Science and Engineering. I was supposed to be perfecting an already patented method of time travel. However, I did not much fancy the idea of working out the kinks in somebody else's idea, so I devoted my time to my own project, namely the Eternity Clock, an invention which bore manifold fruit. Now, what would have happened if I had wasted my time mucking about with somebody else's idea? I would be an entirely different man, for one thing, to say nothing of the chronosphere. My timeline crosses so many others, goodness knows how it shaped the lineal flow of history. Odd to think about, I know, but that's how I have to look at things. Not just because I'm a time traveler, but because I'm an inventor. Granted, after I began traveling, invention became more of a hobby than a career, but it's still the same process. I get an idea, I write it down, I draw it up, do the research, have a biscuit, find the parts I need, put them together, press the button, blow things up, tidy up the mess, regrow my mustache, go back to the drawing board, do more research, have another biscuit, put it back together, press the button again, and voila! A steam-powered harmonica. All right, they can't all be eternity clocks. Any which way and how, I'm never really certain if I've invented something or just discovered something that was already there. You see, invention can be divided into two categories, creation and discovery. Sometimes it's easy to differentiate the two, other times not so much. For instance, one day in the Stone Age, Thunk the Clever takes a stroll through the dry field when the sky is angry, when all of a sudden a great flash shoots down from the clouds, striking a dry shrub and causing it to burst out into pretty dancing lights. Thunk initially tries to carry the pretty lights back to his cave by hand, but discovering this to be a rather painful effort, he decides to break off a branch of the shrub and carry that back to the cave. Thus, Thunk discovers fire, a naturally occurring phenomenon, and applies it to practical use. A simple case of discovery. Now, take the case of Uvar the Short. Seeking a way to travel faster than his stubby legs can carry him, he notices that stones with a rounder shape tend to roll down the hill faster and farther than the funnier-shaped ones. Drawing from this observation, Uvar carves a large boulder into a circular shape and affixes it to an arrangement of wooden sticks. Thus, the wheel is invented, and subsequently the first incident of hit and run. But is this a case of creation or discovery? Did Uvar create something that had never existed before? Or did he simply give shape to something that had always been there, namely, a circle? It's not always so simple, you see. My friend and hero, Nikola Tesla, said that the ultimate purpose of invention is the complete mastery of mind over the material world, the harnessing of the forces of nature to human needs. Both Thunk and Uvar succeeded in this sense, though perhaps their endeavors were differently influenced by effort and luck. Perhaps herein lies the difference. But, to be perfectly honest, it doesn't really bother me which is which. Creation or discovery, either way suits me. It's been said that necessity is the mother of invention, and that imagination is its father. What peeves me to no end are so-called inventions which are neither necessary nor imaginative. And I know this coming from a man who invents explosive soup. But whilst my inventions are not always necessary, They are always imaginative. This cannot be said of everything that's ever managed to slither into the patent office. Case in bloody point. In the early 21st century, a man whose name remains unknown to me, otherwise I would have hunted him down ages ago, was stepping out of his bath. He reaches for his dressing gown and carelessly throws it on. Walking past the mirror, he realizes that he's put his dressing gown on backwards. Silly me, he thinks initially. But then, something happens in his brain. Something strange. Something evil. What if, he thinks, I manufacture large dressing gowns instructed to be worn backwards and market them as blankets with sleeves? Luckily for humanity, this patent was rejected. This planet's future is built upon the fruit of scientific progress, inventions that further the development of mankind. The sleeved blanket would have set mankind back 500 years at least. And I would not want to live in a world in which this so-called invention is commonplace.